Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Taurology 33 channel. This is your 2021 general overview. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And the way this reading works is each of the cards we see in the layout here represents a house of the zodiac based on your sign, and we'll take a look at each of those, and we'll actually also pull some astrology dice to start with to see where your focus should be as far as the astrology goes, and we'll actually pull an oracle card after that. This is just a little something different I wanted to do for the new year. If you're looking for the January general or love readings, those are already on the channel. You could just check out the playlist section of the channel for those. And with that said, we'll get started. Oh, also I should mention the deck being used is the Brady Tarot. Alright, so like I said, we'll get started with the dice here. See what we get. Okay, so we have Saturn energy. And that's actually, Saturn is currently in Aquarius, which is your 10th house of career and social status. So you might have a lot of focus there. You know, maybe a bit of difficulty there, but also the potential for rewards. We have 11, which is the 11th house, which for you guys, that's Pisces energy. But of course, it's naturally Aquarius energy too. So again, we could see that connection with the Saturn energy there. But this is going to be around your groups, friendships, hopes and wishes. And we have Cancer energy, which is your 3rd house of communication. So, and also Cancer being the natural ruler of the 4th house, there could be some significance there too. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with the main spread. The energy of your 1st house, we have Anguish, which is actually the 9 of Swords. So, really what comes out to me right away with this energy is we see the eagle there, and we see some eggs in the nest that have been broken. And what that makes me think of is the fact that what I'm drawn to with this is the fact that you guys have, like I was saying, Saturn moving into your, well, it's already in your 10th house of career and social status. And it's going to be making square aspects with Uranus, which is in your sign, for most of the year, basically. So what that makes me feel like will be happening for you guys is you might feel like you can't leave your responsibilities behind. You know, there could be that desire to do so, you know, to have some freedom, right? Looking at that bald eagle figure. But then also the worry that if you do kind of leave things behind for a bit, whatever progress you made would be lost. That's primarily what I'm seeing here. But beyond that, this could just represent just being stuck in your head a bit. Maybe just having concerns around any area of your life where you might feel like, all right, if you kind of look away for a minute, things will crumble, right? So there could just be a little bit of worry around that. And I do have to say, before I forget, at the bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Cups, which is referred to as happiness in this deck. So keep that in mind. The underlying theme here is definitely a more positive energy. So for the majority of you, is it going to be easy all year? Probably not. But the fact that that's your underlying theme shows me that whatever this is, you could definitely come out of it. All right, 2nd house energy, we got quite a bit, which makes sense. You guys naturally rule the 2nd house, but we got Vantage, which is the 3 of Wands. Scarcity, which is the 5 of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. Son of Feathers, which is actually the Page of Wands. And the Tower. So interesting energies here. With the 3 of Wands, to me this represents, especially given that it says Vantage, usually we think of the 3 of Wands energy as the waiting for your ships to come in energy. So this could be around finances, possessions for you guys. So I feel like this is you guys kind of, you know, waiting for some results to come in from the work that you've put in. Now with the Scarcity though, it seems like, you know, you might feel like that those rewards aren't coming in. That's certainly one way that it could be coming across. Or you might just lack faith that it actually will come in for you. So on one hand, you know, trying to wait for things, and maybe that's where that anguish energy is coming in for you guys, you know, that being torn between having faith that things will work out, but also fearing that they wouldn't. Then we see the Son of Feathers energy here, which, like I was saying, is the Page of Wands. So usually that represents taking action around the situation. And then lastly, we have the Tower. So really what I'm seeing here could just be saying that if opportunity comes your way, try not to wait on it for too long. You know what I mean? Like if you see something there, or better yet, If you're just determined to let things come to you, but you're seeing opportunities off in the distance, right, with vantage, could just be saying, to be mindful that you might be called to take action toward those things, or otherwise you might watch those opportunities be missed. That's one way I could see that playing out. And definitely with this tower energy here, like I said, that could definitely point to the energies you guys are going to feel with um, Saturn squaring Uranus in your sign for most of the year. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. So just be mindful that if you feel like you're waiting too long for your ships to come in without anything coming your way, you might have to actually venture off and go look for those things. All right, in the third house, we have equilibrium, which is the Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and the Hierophant, which is actually you guys. So seeing these two things together, especially that in this deck, the Two of Pentacles is referred to as equilibrium, it could just be saying that you might have to really just tune into yourselves. Maybe you're just so wrapped up in other things and not really tuning into yourselves. And that could really help point the way for you guys. Really stay true to yourselves around communication as well. So make sure you're being honest and upfront with people as far as what you're looking for. That could definitely be helpful for you guys this month. Especially if you're going through some difficulties as well, because we did see a little bit of heavy energy in your second house. So, for example, if you're going through some financial difficulty, you might need to, just let people know that's a situation. You might even have to rely on organizations, for example, maybe apply for a loan of some kind, something like that, because this could represent long-standing organizations. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. And overall, like I said, I would see, given that this is showing up in your third house and it's your card, communication could definitely be a positive thing for you guys this year as long as you're true to yourselves. So definitely be sure to do so. And we did see the Cancer energy, which is your third house communication, pop up here too. So definitely some significance around that. All right. In the fourth house, we have the Empress. So this is actually another card that points to your energy often because it's Venus energy. And with this showing up here in the fourth house, could just be saying that you might find a lot of comfort in your home environment this year. You might actually make some improvements to your home environment. Could just be saying that your family might be a source of comfort for you guys as well. And, could just be saying that you really just need some downtime as well. So keep that in mind. But definitely a positive energy to see there. And again, to me, I also see it as another indicator to emphasize the point that you need to stay true to yourselves this year, above all else. All right. And fifth house energy, I had a few cards come up here. We have Defeat, which is the Five of Swords, Aquarius energy. Success, which is the Two of Wands, Aries energy. And the Lovers, which is the major arcana card for Gemini. So, interesting energies here, right? You see the Five of Swords, Two of Wands, Defeat, and Success right after each other, right? So obviously it's a good thing that you go from defeat to success. That's one positive way to look at it. And then the Lovers coming up after that, given that your fifth house could represent romance and creativity. So really what I'm seeing here could just be saying that, perhaps communication could be a bit bumpy for you guys in this area of life, where it could just be saying, getting stuck in your head too much, I should say, as opposed to just regular communication, could be what's causing difficulty for you guys. Whereas with the Two of Wands energy, saying actually taking action, right? So not just thinking about what you want to do, not just thinking about what you want to say, but actually taking action toward that from a heart place is actually going to lead you to the success that you're looking for. Now, like I said, it could obviously be around love relationships since we do see the Lovers energy there, but it could also just point to creative projects you might be trying to get off the ground as well. Even children, if you guys have children. So something to keep in mind there. And this could be around stresses, so any rough communication, since this is Aquarius energy, could come down to the fact that you have, like I was saying, that Saturn squaring Uranus in your sign for pretty much most of the year. So that's what I see there. All right. In the sixth house, which is your work, daily routines, health, we have Mother of Roots, which is actually the Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, and Seven of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, which is called Breach in this deck. So really what I'm seeing here is you could just be working on building steady foundations, or at least you're being called to do so if you're not actually on that path already when it comes to your work, daily routine, health habits. And with the Seven of Cups here, it could just be saying that, you might just have your mind might be a little bit scattered. And we do see that there with the Nine of Swords energy too. So you could just be being called to put your focus into one thing at a time and really build a strong foundation. So maybe you guys are just trying to get too many things done. Because in addition to Saturn being in Aquarius, which is your 10th house, you're also going to have Jupiter there. So Jupiter could make you almost have this, especially Jupiter and Saturn together, it could make you have this obsessive quality toward your work and career. So you might be overdoing it. So it could just be saying you might get yourselves a bit scattered. Whereas with the Mother of Roots energy, it looks like the message there is to just build from the ground up, So that's what I see there. And in the 7th house, we have a few cards came up here too. All right, we have Enchantment, which is actually the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun, Altruism, which is actually the 6 of Pentacles in this deck, and which is Taurus energy. And we have the Father of Feathers, which is actually Leo energy. So 7th house energy looks really good. With Enchantment, could just be saying that there's someone you're really drawn to, someone that you feel like you could build a strong foundation with, possibly even someone that you might meet in the workplace. That's a possibility. With the Sun energy, in addition to that, desire to build roots with this person, this is also someone that you probably really just have a really good time with, right? Just really feel at home with, light and playful. And with the 6 of Pentacles, or Altruism as it's called in this deck, it looks like it's just saying that the best thing about it is that the energy will be reciprocal. So you might feel like you guys are really meeting each other eye to eye on an equal level with each other. And then with the Father of Feathers, it could just be saying, again, given that for you guys, Leo energy is your 4th house, it could just be saying that you feel at home with this person, or you really have a desire to build roots with them. For some of you, it could also be a Leo, actually, obviously. So overall, very positive energy here. And also, 7th house, we do tend to think of relationships in a romantic sense, but it could just mean partnerships in general, too. So could just saying if you're working toward a partnership with someone in the career level, too, since we do see the Pentacle energy there, looks like that would definitely be a solid connection for you as well. All right. In the 8th house, we have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy, which is your 8th house, so fitting that it shows up in your 8th house, and Victory, which is Leo energy. So seeing these two cards come up together could just be saying that, especially if you've had a bit of difficulty around intimacy, because what stands out to me here is we see the snakes, and we see the birds as well, and then here we see the bird and the snake, right? So it could just be saying that, if you've had some issues with intimacy, for example, maybe just reacting a bit more impulsively when it comes to intimacy and possibly getting into negative connections for that reason, could just be saying that you might be overcoming that this year, actually overcoming that ability to kind of sabotage yourself by just getting drawn into connections that aren't good for you. So there could definitely be some success around that. And we could see, as like I was saying, for example, your 7th house looks like it'd be a strong, stable connection. So, for example, if you've just been drawn to people that you've known were bad for you, and maybe you just kept getting stuck in that cycle, you could really overcome that this year. That's what I'm seeing there. Outside of that, if this is around investments as well, it looks like if there's some kind of shady business that have been going on in investments for you guys, you might actually figure those out and actually be able to overcome that as well. So pretty positive energy on both fronts there. All right, the 9th house, we have the Devil. So this is the major arcana card for Capricorn, which for you guys is your 9th house energy. So again, pretty fitting that this shows up here too. But really, this could just be saying that you guys might be a bit obsessive when it comes to thinking about your life philosophy. Possibly if you guys are going back to school, you might really dig in and be very serious and dedicated to that. And for some of you, if that's the case, that might be where some of this anguish energy is coming from for you guys, where you just might be, I wouldn't say overdoing it, but just, really pouring more energy than you have into the situation. Um, we still do have Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, so there is still that deep energy flowing through that house for you guys. But yeah, that's what I see there. And it could just be saying that you're really just trying to figure out how to better yourselves in career as well. All right, and speaking of career, in the 10th house, we have Father of Arrows, which is Aquarius energy. Again, 10th house. Work, can't make that up, right? That's also a 10th house vibe. This is Capricorn energy. Guile, which is 7 of Swords energy, which is also Aquarius. And Father of Roots, which is actually the court card for your sign, Taurus energy. So, all right, interesting energies here. So this could just be saying that your work environment or whatever field you're in just might be very competitive, So to me, I'm thinking of the vulture there, right? And then in addition to that, I'm just gonna skip over this for a second because with the vulture theme, then we see guile. That makes me think of, people that might be trying to take advantage of your situation when it comes to career. So it could be people within your work environment that might be underpaying you or just giving you way more work than you should have, things along those lines. So just watch out for that. Or again, you could just be in an ultra competitive field where, there's a lot of people trying to get the spot that you might be aiming for as well. But with the work energy showing up here, could just be saying that, if you really just build, and again, going back to that stability that we saw at the Mother of Roots, really just focus, that's actually going to be the key for you guys getting the success that you're looking for. So kind of just, keep your head down, try not to get involved in any office politics or any kind of shady, petty behaviors that might be going on. But definitely be aware that they're there, right? With guile, have the ability to spot them and overcome them, but try not to actively engage in them, and you guys should be fine, given that your card shows up as the last one in the 10th house. All right. In the 11th house, we have Daughter of Roots. So this is actually the Page of Pentacles. So this could just be saying for some of that there could be some new friendships that you guys might be getting into. So for example, maybe if you enter into a new job this year, now you're fostering those new connections within your career there, or possibly if you guys moved somewhere, right? Or if you do so in 2021, might just be building new relationships there. So to me, this is saying that they do have the long-term potential to grow, but you might not feel like they're quite there just yet, because with that Page of Pentacles energy, if we think about it in traditional tarot, for example, that's the one page where the pentacle is just out of his reach. So could just be saying that, you might not feel like they're right where they need to be. Like we see a bear and a bird there. It seems like a weird match, right? But could just be saying that they'll take some time to grow, but these are positive connections that you can rely on. So that's what I see there. And 12th house energy, we have the 5 of Cups energy, which is a loss in this deck. So for you guys, this is actually Scorpio energy. So for some of you, it could just be looking over a past connection because 12th house is the subconscious, spirituality, your blind spots. So you could just be looking back at a failed connection that you might have had in your past and trying to figure out where it might have gone wrong for you guys. But again, I feel like this is why I was saying as far as with the anguish energy too. I feel like there's a lot of things just going on in your mind that you might just have a little bit of difficulty getting past. And, we do have Chiron in your 12th house. We've had Mars in your 12th house for a really long time. It's just about to move into your sign in a couple of days. So could just be pointing to that as well, just saying that all of that energy in your 12th house could have really just had you been replaying things from your past over and over, trying to figure out where things went wrong, right? So you could avoid them happening again. But again, keep in mind, this is 12th house energy, and like we mentioned in the beginning, the bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Cups. So looks like you guys will come out of that. So just try to be patient with yourselves. You might actually already start to feel that shift when Mars does come into your sign a little later this month. Now it's going to make some tense aspects with the same energies we were talking about as far as Saturn and your 10th house and Jupiter. It's also going to be conjunct Uranus for a bit, so the early stages of that transit might still feel a little rough, but as we get, like, let's say into late February, you might really start to feel a little bit better about things. All right. So lastly, we have an oracle card we're going to pull. So I'm going to pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording, and what I'm going to be looking for here is just one jumper with general guidance for us to wrap up with. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. All right. So let's see if we get anything. Nope, got one there. All right. You guys got cleaned it up. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 21. So definitely has an earthy vibe to it there too, but we'll see what it says. All right, it says getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. The Oracle's message: ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of way natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. So, pretty positive message there, and I would say it aligns pretty well with the general spread as we went through it. So hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says, time to clear the air, take a look at your side of the street, and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered and your relationship will flourish. So, pretty positive message there, and that could also be what we were seeing in the 5th house with the 5 of Swords energy, moving on to the 2 of Wands energy and the Lover's energy. So hopefully that resonated with you too. And finally, the prosperity message says simple things like opening your mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists, and getting organized is what this symbol means when it comes to your work. Make time for yourself too. This card is a sign that you may be overburdened and overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. You'll prosper even more if you do. So again, definitely resonates with the general spread as well. So hopefully all this resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you in a few weeks with the February readings. All right, bye.